Okay, got my mask ready to go. Oh, hey, Luann.
Hi, Heather. Hi. Oh, you're here.
Hey,
Class should
guys.
start. Hi, guys.
Hey, put my remote down. You know we do this on the fly.
Welcome to class. I'm happy you're back. I brought Heather back because I know you all just are in love with her like me.
Oh.
So we're happy to have you back. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for letting me be here. It's so good to see you all again. Let's talk about these masks, Luann.
Yeah. Well, the two of us have had the injection and we've cleaned up. We're kind of in our bubble. So if you're working with somebody, just be sure that you're very, very safe. Mask, wash your hands, social distance if you can. But for now, we can accept that we can take off.
Ooh, oh,
The
that
mask.
feels good.
So this leads to, let's breathe, let's warm up a little bit before we start class.
Great.
So
All right.
would you mind leading?
I would love to lead.
Yay.
All right, so yes, we love breath in Luann's classes. So let's start with just your feet underneath you. Your legs are hip width apart, just hanging right underneath your hips. Your shoulders are lifted and relaxed back and down. Your head is reaching toward the ceiling. Your heels are into the floor, but you are relaxed. And go ahead and just, if you want to, close your eyes, or you can watch, and I will close my eyes so you see what this looks like for yourself later. So what you're going to do is just recognize or notice how you feel in your body and with your breath. Is your breath happening quickly? Are you nice and relaxed and your breath is slow? Is your breath feeling disorganized or chaotic? And can you bring that just to an awareness of your body and just start to even out your breath? So close your mouth, a nice deep inhale through your nose, and blow it out through your mouth. And again, in and out.
And I have to say, because it's my famous saying, pull in positive energy and let go negative energy.
I love that. And mine is breathe in joy and breathe out sadness or frustration. Let's take that to our side body. So as we breathe in, we're just going to let that expand through the sides of our ribs. So we breathe in and breathe out. And this time the arms a little higher. Breathe in and breathe out. You can bend your knees a bit. And one more time over the head. Breathe in and bend your knees. Breathe out. Good. Take on the next breath, you're going to take it to the front and the back. So you're expanding the front of your body and the back of your body. Breathe in and breathe out. And switch your arms. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in a little higher. Drop a little lower. And cross in and breathe out. One more time, you're actually going to, I'm going to step back a little bit. You're actually going to take your left foot across your body and your right arm across your body as if you were going to take a big step. And you're going to balance there. So it'll look like this. Breathe in and out. Switch, balance, breathe in and out. One more each side. Breathe in. Balance. Breathe out. Your core is firm. Breathe in. Last one, all the way down, drop. And then rolling up, bringing your arms up, side bodies over the head. And release. Good.
So today we're going to talk about balance. We're going to talk about communication. I mean, the whole class is really talking about how you use your body language, facial expression, gesture to be able to express on stage. But you express everywhere, all day, right?
Yeah, socially, professionally, with family.
Yeah.
Yes, all day.
All day.
Mhm.
So I want to give you some visuals of
Yeah.
what does communication, what does balance look like? These are invisible things. You can't really see them. You can feel them.
Yes.
But for class, we're gonna be using poles to represent that balance and communication.
So it seems like we have a tangible or a concrete balance we're talking about today. But then we also want to think of balance metaphorically or as a visual for our life.
Yeah,
So
that can even be related.
absolutely, yes, and the breath and that, when we have a firm foundation, we were talking about our core being solid when we try to balance, right? And we want like a solid foundation in our life to be able to have solid friendships and our professional life, right? So it's like the belly for physical maybe, and the heart and soul for our emotional balance.
Yes, and it is all part of the same concept. It's just hard to see some of the more,
Nuance?
yeah, the nuanced or the spiritual part.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to mix. You remember my favorite guy, Del Sard. He always said you needed intellectual, you needed a spiritual, emotional, and you needed a physical. So we'll be able to show the physical very clearly, but I'm going to ask you to also think about how do you apply that to your spiritual or emotional. And of course, being able to understand it will engage your intellectual naturally. So all three are already in there.
Yes. So now let's play.
Okay, let's
What
play.
are we going to do?
Well, I want to start with these polls.
Oh.
Now, you can get these on Amazon. You can go to Home Depot. You can get any kind of pole. It could be a dowel rod. I have bamboo, just because I'm cool. But they're also strong and light. So something like that. A string isn't really strong enough. It needs to be something that will stay stiff. Could even be a broom handle. So it might even be something you already have. But
Even weight on both sides?
yeah, it'd be best if it has even weight. Okay, so the first part of this is figuring out your partner. So maybe we'll back up a little bit. Now, you'll notice if Heather holds the pole in a fist, she can control that thing. It's not going to fall, but it also means that she's alone and she's controlling. So if I grab it now we're in a situation of struggle. Is it me who's leading? Is it her? You could even throw somebody, give me that. You throw somebody off balance too. It's not a good way to communicate, to have that total control. So we're going to use it with an open palm. Now, this is easy for the pole to fall. And it might actually fall during this exercise because I want to show you what happens when communication fails too. So if the two of us are communicating well, let's start with a leader. So you lead and you can see what this looks like. first of all, we started laughing because I kind of took the lead. When we turned around, I said, oh, let Heather lead. And then I'm obviously such a controlling person. But
Teacher.
I'm a teacher,
Yeah.
yes. So what happened, though, is she listened to me. She didn't argue. She didn't say, no, I'm not, I refuse to move. She watched the body language, facial expression, gesture, and the two of us were able to keep the pole going without falling. And some of that's a little tricky, like turning around. What was your experience of that?
My experience was feeling the pressure. It's such a good way to feel through your hands the pressure of the exercise. And then I was thinking about the pressure, the positive pressure, the feedback perhaps physically. And I always jump to socially, giving a friendship feedback to lean on.
Yeah, yeah. So for you, if you have your parents there or a roommate, even your cat, if you have to use a wall, that's still okay too. Just to feel how much pressure is too much, how much pressure is not enough. So we're gonna show it to you so that it's light. The pressure's a little bit too light.
Okay. Are you leading this one, or do we?
Yeah,
You'll lead. Okay.
I'll lead. So I was very light. That's why we kept backing up and almost out of the
Ask me
ring.
how I felt.
How did you feel? How did you feel?
Frustrated. I wanted to. All I was doing was pushing on you, and I didn't want to.
And that's, you know, when you're in a conversation with somebody and they don't say anything, so you're like, hi. Hi. How was your day? My day was pretty good. Your day? Did you have a day?
Give me something.
They're too light in the communication, and it leaves the person who's trying to have a discussion or conversation frustrated because it forces you to have to put out the communication and the energy. Now let's see if it's too hard.
Okay.
And you lead.
Okay, I'm leading. All right.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
How do you feel?
Oh my God. So for that I felt manipulated, first of all.
Yeah, and her face is red.
Kind of embarrassed just because it was happening so
much.
fast
Too much.
and too much. So I was staying connected with her, but it meant that I couldn't think for myself. I had to stay, what's she gonna do next? And then it was happening fast. And I was feeling pushed. The pressure on the pole was too hard. So you have to find the balance.
Yeah.
So both people feel comfortable in that situation, the communication is smoother, and that requires really reading body language. Like she said, you could see my face had gone red. If you notice that in a conversation, you might start to think, okay, maybe slow it down.
Maybe I'm not giving that person room to share.
Yeah, or if, the body language closes in
Yes.
or opens up, you can read that. You can see if the pressure is too much or the pressure is too light, you're not helping enough in the relationship, the conversation.
And, of course, on stage, you will read what the character feels as well. So if it's a character who feels pushed upon, and I'm always talking here, right? A close talker.
Yeah.
Then you know how this person feels because you've been there. Now Luann has been in the room with this pole feeling pushed upon. Now she can also recall that for stage, right? We take our experiences and put them into those characters.
What you experienced during rehearsal, during training, when you look back, then it kind of helps you also not feel like, oh, I have to act with this person who's so pushy. She's such a pushy person. Maybe not. Maybe that person is just trying to act the role. Remember the pole. And if you need that other actor to lay out, maybe even bring the pole